Hello everybody, Cybernary here again with another Magic the Gathering video. Today we're going to be going over what each color brings to the game of Magic. If you've been playing Magic for very long, you know that it has 5 different colors of cards in the game. We also have multicolored cards, which are considered gold cards. And we have artifacts. So today, real quickly, I was just going to go over kind of what each color, what their strong suits are, what they're known for. So when you start thinking about building a multicolor deck and you start thinking about what colors you want to add to it, you can think about what the color is going to give you in your deck. So first we'll start off with white, and I do have a variety of different cards here from the last couple of sets that are some of them are staples in a lot of decks that are out there. So they should be fairly familiar to you. Wingmate Rock. This card has been making a lot of headlines lately because of Abzan control, or Abzan midrange. It's a flying 3/4 creature that whenever you have raid, it brings in a copy of itself. The other significant thing about it is that whenever you attack with it, you gain 1 life for each attacking creature. So right away, this card highlights 3 different things that white does. White is one of the 2 colors that has flying creatures in it. White is one of the colors that puts out tokens. And white is also the primary color that does lifelink, or gives you more life than what you started, or gives back life. Okay. Citadel Siege is the next card I've got here. It's kind of the same thing. It's an enchantment that when you put on the battlefield, you decide between the Khan's ability or the Dragon's ability. And the Khan's ability is you putting counters on a creature you control, or the Dragon's ability is that you can tap a creature that player controls to remove it from combat. And that is also another white ability. White and blue can both tap down creatures. White and green do a lot of +1/+1 counters. Okay? And then last but not least, I do have a Soulfire Grandmaster. It's a very popular card right now because it gives instants and sorceries spells that you have lifelink, along with the ability to buy back any instants or sorceries that you cast for 4 additional mana. So this is a very popular card, very expensive card. Again, lifelink is a very white-ish spell. So white is strong in life-gaining things, in token generation, in flying, and in +1/+1 counters. Blue, on the other hand, is kind of your control color. Now, I don't actually have a counter spell here, but I do have a couple other spells. I have a draw spell with this Jace's Ingenuity. This is an important one because it's an instant draw. Draws 3 cards for 5 mana. Another one is Supplement Form. And the only reason I got this one is that this is just the current copy a creature spell. Blue has quite a bit of spells that copy target creature. You get a copy of that creature on the battlefield. Blue also is probably one of the only colors that will let you take an extra turn. There are a couple of cards out there that, besides blue, that lets you do it, a couple artifacts. And then of course blue has really big water creatures, and they can't be countered, and you can bounce them back to your hand by returning 3 lands. So he's got kind of somewhat evasion, and you can flash him in. So that's kind of what blue is known for. Counter spells, draw spells, copying things, sometimes taking an extra turn, and then most big water creatures are blue creatures. Black, on the other hand, is all about bad things. A lot of your kill spells are considered black. Bile Blight is another kill spell, but it targets that creature and all of the creatures with the same name. And you'll see this a lot. Whereas white may give +1/+1, Bile and other cards like White or Black Sun Zenith give minus number. So those will even kill indestructible cards. You'll see a lot of demons in black. This demon right here says that at the beginning of each opponent's end step, that player chooses up to 2 creatures, and then he sacrifices the rest. A lot of sacrifice effects in black. Sometimes you can force opponents to sacrifice creatures, and sometimes you can sacrifice creatures for your own gain. And an important note about sacrifice. Sacrifice does get around the hexproof mechanic, because hexproof says that a target opponent can't target your creature, but since sacrifice is targeting you, and then you have to pick the creature, you can target the creature just fine and sacrifice it. Black is also very well known for reanimation. Basically taking cards that are in the graveyard and reanimating them to put them out on the battlefield, sometimes cheaper than they would have been cost originally. And then another effect that black has is being able to control a player's hand. This is considered more kind of like black control. And this card basically says that you can name any kind of card, and then you get to go through their graveyard, their hand, and their library for any number of cards that has that name, and you can exile them from the game. So if there's a specific card that is really hurting you, then you can grab that and get rid of it. But this one is called Stain the Mind. One of the more popular ones in Modern is called Surgical Extraction. Okay, so moving on to red. Red, we have another kind of take control of your creature. This is different than copy creature. This is actually grab the creature and take control of it. Red has a lot of that. Red also has a lot of phoenixes, a lot of flying firebirds, dragons, things like that. Red is very fire oriented. This is a popular red flyer. Here's more of the red burn, direct damage to either creature or player. And this is a very popular card as well, because you can put however much mana you want into it to deal that much damage. Another popular thing with red is called Double Strike. And Double Strike is an ability that basically, if you think about the combat, it allows them to swing twice. So if you think about 2 people with a sword, each with a sword, and they're attacking each other, then they each get to swing once and do that much damage to each other. Someone with Double Strike gets to swing twice. They're faster than their opponent. So in the rules of Magic, Double Strike, the Double Strike and First Strike are kind of the same thing. First Strike just means that they get to get their hit in before the other guy. Double Strike means that they have First Strike and Normal Strike. So it's there are several rules around Double Strike and First Strike. Green focuses on also focuses on life. It does have card draw, and it also focuses on mana. Green is the best color to get into if you want to generate more mana than the other guy, or out ramp mana, so to speak. This card right here, if you pick the cons mode, then you can generate extra mana. And then you also have the fight mechanic with green, which allows you to exchange power and toughness without actually going into combat. So, and since you get to pick, you can pick one of your big guys to go up against one of their smaller guys and immediately kill them. Speaking of big guys, green does have its fair share of really big guys that can trample and just ruin your day. Trample is another keyword that green has a lot of, which basically means that any damage that gets blocked, the rest of the damage that he would apply would trample over the blocker. So if this guy's a 5/5 and he had trample and somebody blocked him with a 1/1 token, he would do 1 damage to that token, and then 4 more damage would trample over to either the next blocker or the player. So green is very well known for trample and big guys. This is another one about doing card draw. As you can see, card draw in green is all about how many creatures you control. So as opposed to blue, where it's all about the mana. Now we move into some of the gold cards and the artifact cards. Gold cards take instances of both color that they're representing and combine them. Now this dragon here is a blue-white dragon, and if you look at some of the abilities, we have a flying vigilance dragon that taps down permanents that an opponent controls. Tap down can be a blue or a white ability. Vigilance very much is a white ability, and flying can be a white or blue ability. So right away we look at this dragon and we can see this is a very white and blue dragon. It has a lot of those abilities. If we look at this black-red dragon, it's got flying, but it also buffs up some of our creatures that we control. Alright, and that's a red ability. And it doesn't have much as far as black abilities go, so that's a bad example. I apologize. Alright, so what about this one? This is the green-red dragon, and as you can see right away, it has flying and trample, so trample being a green ability. And then whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike, which, as we talked about a minute ago, is more of a red ability. So this is a very good red-green dragon as well. And then, of course, to wrap things up, are artifacts. Artifacts are colorless spells or colorless utility, I like to call it, where these are cards that would fit into almost any deck, and they can be great mana fixers if you want to get some. They're called mana rocks, or things like utility like this. If you're going up against a guy that uses his graveyard quite a bit, you can put this in and play this for free. If you're playing a lot of colorless creatures, then this is a very good card because it gives your colorless creatures +2/+2 for basically 2 mana. But again, artifacts are kind of more along the lines of utility or tools that you would just kind of add to your deck to fix a couple of weaknesses that it might have. Alright, well, I hope this has been educational for you and you've enjoyed it. My name again is Cybernary. If you have any additions or requests for future topics, please go ahead, feel free to mention them down in the comments. Likes and subscribers are always appreciated. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will catch you next time. Bye.